We're coming with the heat today, guys. We're coming with the heat. Today we are going to make a smooth, sexy R&B sample for Drake, Future, really anyone, right? We're gonna dig into it. We got a couple steps for this, and it should be pretty easy for you guys to follow. I'm pretty excited. There's nothing too crazy here, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's go, baby. Also, really quick before we get started, I want you all to do something for me. If you guys like these videos, please click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, leave me a like and comment. Stuff helps so much for the algorithms, dude. So we're going to get into that. Also, Monday through Friday, we have new beats on the BeatStars page, also on the website. So that's going to be 𝐴𝐚𝐾 on BeatStars. Also, that's going to be 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐤.me/producer. So if you guys are into that, please check that stuff out. We got beat leases, we got mixing work, we got all that stuff. Let's get into the video. Oh yeah, so here we go. We're gonna get started. First, we're gonna play the beat for you guys. So, how do we do that? Well, let's get started. First, we need some chords, and I am using the OVO 40's very own. I'm using the Don't Cry preset for my keys, and this is we're going to start off with first. These are the keys, and here's what it's going to sound like. Let's go ahead and fold it. It's going to sound like this. So what are those chords right there? Well, we're going to start off with the G minor chord, and all we're going to do is we're just going to kind of build up. It's just a root position chord, so we're going to start on G, and we're going to go up every other note in the scale, 4 notes to make a G minor 7 that's got a B flat in it, so that's going to be G, B flat, D, F. Super, super easy there. After that, what we're going to get into is a B flat major chord, and that's going to be our passing tone to our A minor. And the B flat, again, is just going to be a root position chord. It's going to be B flat, D, F, and A. And that's what we got here. I think we don't have the F in here, so I think that we're just using the B flat, D, and the A there. After that, we're going to go to a minor chord. That's going to be A, C, E, G. Root position chord, nothing super crazy. Hit that E minor again. Then we're going to go to a D minor 7, and that's going to be a root inversion. So it's going to be that's going to be a first inversion chord, second inversion. Sorry. So we're going to have A, C, D, and F. And all we're doing there is we're taking our regular D minor, D, F, A, C, and we're basically taking the first 2 notes and we're moving them above our bottom 2 notes. That's all that we're going to do there. We're going to hit that again, and then we're going to go a little root position on the D and the F here. And we're going to walk that up to a E and a G, which is kind of half of an E minor. So that's what we got. So if we play through this here, we have G minor 7, B flat major 7, A minor 7, A minor 7, D minor 7, D minor 7, D minor, E minor. Just like that. So nothing super, super crazy. So that's how we're gonna get our chords there. And then everything else is gonna be built off of this, right? Everything else is gonna be built off of this. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a pad, and I'm using the 40's very own as well. What pad am I using here? I'm going to be using the 40 pita pad. That's what we're using there. And all I'm doing here is I'm taking the same chords, I'm just not using all of the notes, right? So I believe here I just use the first and the third of all of these notes. So we have G and B flat, and then we have that D there, and then A and C for the A minor, F and D, again that F is on the bottom, B is on top, so we use the same inversion still, and then we're going to use the G and the E, and then we're going to move that down to a D. So that's kind of how we outline that, and that's going to sound like this. So if you notice there, right, I'm not hitting every single chord. I'm just outlining the overall chord progression there. And again, like we say in all the videos, we don't want to use the exact same voicing because it just gets super messy and doesn't sound super, super good. So that's kind of what we want to do there. We're trying to fill things out. So we're trying to pick spots that need a little bit more beef, and that's what we use the pad for. So I don't need beef on all the notes because we're going to be outlining those with the guitars and all that junk. So that's what we got. Next up we have our guitars, and this, again, I'm just outlining the chords. I'm playing the exact same chords I am kind of doing the full chord, and it's going to sound like this. So again, I'm just using a different instrument to kind of, outline those chords just to give us a little bit different of a feel. And what I'm doing for the processing here, I'm starting off with the Slave Virtual Mix Rack. I'm using the Vibe Strip. I'm using the guitar preset. And the archetype chord 𝐦𝐤𝐤. And all I'm doing here is I'm just using the default setting, a little bit of compression. We're using this amplifier here. I love the 𝐦𝐤𝐤. It gives you so many cool guitar tones. It's fantastic. And adding a little bit of reverb there too. And then we're doing a little bit of EQ to take out some of the mud from the guitars. So then after that, we're going to add a guitar lead line, and I'm trying to do more or less a call and response from the chords. So the chord hits, and then the second half of the beat, then maybe the lead line hits. So it's going to sound like this. So if you notice there, right, it's call and response, chord lead, chord lead, chord lead, and that's a really good technique. We talked about that in the last video on how to do that. So now we're pretty full, but I want something else, right? And I think the next thing I'm going to want is the strings. I'm using the Mellotron, the Arturia Mellotron, and I'm using the stereo strings preset with a little bit of processing here, sample sweetener, custom opto. And then we're also using the Valhalla Uber mod. I'm just using the default here, so I just want a little bit more depth. And that's going to be a little bit of a chorus. So that's going to sound just like this. And I'm doing the same thing that I do with the pad. I'm not using all of the notes. And this, I'm getting a little more creative with my note placement. So I'm not using the exact same voicings. I'm only using 2 of the notes at a time just to give something on top. It sounds super, super nice. And now we got the bass. And the bass I'm using, surprise, 40's very own. And I'm using the basic bass. And all I'm doing here is I'm just outlining the root notes. So nothing super crazy there, right? So far everything's pretty simple. Now the last thing that we need is a pretty cool vocal up top. And that's going to sound, the vocal is going to sound like this. And that's me singing in there. So if you guys want to hear it without any of the processing, it sounds like this. I pitched it up, so we're going to pitch it down. Oh, would you love me, just tell me everything that you want from me. Pretty crazy, huh? And then with the processing, we're going to add some auto-tune up top. We're going to use the Slave Virtual Rack. Because that's the Drake sound, dude. That's the Drake sound. So these are kind of what, whenever I'm making a R&B, dark R&B sample, that's kind of what I like to do, is just mess with all of this stuff. And let's play you the full beat here. we go. That's how we make a dark R&B sample. So that's kind of my process there. Now if you see, it really all lies in the chords. It really all lies in the chords there. That's kind of how you get that that feel, that sound, and then we just kind of get the vintage vibe. So maybe we're going to put an RC20 on it. Maybe we're going to cut out some of the highs. Maybe we're going to put a vinyl plugin on it. Stuff like that, right? So we can do all of these things. The vocal pitched up high. Sometimes what I would do is I would speed that up. And then, so I would do the re-pitch and I would speed it up, and then I just put drums over it. And that's really it. So that's kind of how I move through the creative process there. If you guys like this video, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, turn on notifications. It helps new beats on the BeatStar Monday through Friday. So go ahead and check those out. Again, that's on the BeatStars page, _. And it's also on my website, joeyne.me/producer. So yeah, man, we got a sale going on too. So let's go over and check that out if you guys want to help out and support the vision, support the team over here. Yeah, I think that's all we got. See you guys next week.